My name is MT and I'm 16 years old. Today is Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, and right now I am here on Earth just like you. There's so much I want to say, but I don't know where to start. I've never been able to express how I truly feel because I feel everything so intensely, but when it's time to start piecing all of those feelings and ideas into words, it becomes overwhelming. On Monday, my teacher Mike suggested that I write about myself for our last story. He said something like, "We haven't heard much about you this year. How about sharing something about yourself?" I looked down at my desk and thought of what to say but couldn't reply. "Maybe that's just how I perceive you, but you don't seem to follow the crowd. You're your own person and I see a lot of power in that, especially now when you're a high schooler." How about writing about music? At that moment, I was fidgeting with the Totoro phone charm that I had just got at the night market and thinking, well, there's nothing interesting about me. But I probably just ended up unconvincingly replying with, "Yeah, okay." I guess there's this one thing about me though, and it's also one of my biggest secrets. I am a very insecure person. So extremely self-conscious and insecure that being in a crowded room is unbearable because my brain is convincing me that everyone is talking shit about me and or laughing at me. I start to imagine all the horrible stuff that people are probably saying about me, and I start hearing things that make me want to disappear. The hurtful words repeat over and over again in my head, and I'm left wondering if anyone actually even said those things at all, or if it was just my own self-hatred talking. The start of junior year was when my insecurities started to consume me. It's because I'm in my head way too much, always anxious about everything I'm saying coming off wrong, terrified of others perceiving me, feeling like everyone around me can hear my thoughts, fully convinced that my friends secretly hate me, ashamed of my face, my hair, my clothes, how I talk, and everything about me. When everything is screaming at me to get up and leave, but I can't, I can only curl up and try my best to become invisible. So that's what I did every day for a while. Hiding in big hoodies, avoiding speaking up in class, never being able to read others' gazes, never fully there. Ditching school because I hated myself for falling behind again, because I hated who I had become in the mirror so much. I couldn't bear for anyone to see me when I felt so uncomfortable in a body that was suffocating to be in. I was closing myself off from everyone and I was finally getting what I wanted. I was left alone. But there is also something else about me. I'm a dreamer. I get these insanely vivid dreams almost every night, and it always feels like I've lived out entire lifetimes in my dreams, or that I was allowed glimpses into another one. During the day when I have my face in a book, I'm not seeing words on a page and their individual meanings, but there's a little movie playing out somewhere in my head. Reading a name and seeing someone come into view, the color of their hair and their eyes, the way their mouth moves when they talk, how the sun filters through the branches above them and dances on the ground beneath them. It was so easy for me to forget about living my actual life because I would have rather been lost in a book or in my bedroom sleeping, dreaming. In the months where I felt so alone and trapped in my body, I found comfort and safety in the freedom of my dreams. The other night I couldn't fall asleep, so I put on my headphones and played one of my playlists. This one was called Sentimental. I closed my eyes and a little movie flicked on. A blurry face appeared, but when I focused in on it, I saw that this time it was me staring back. Not me now, but who I used to be. When I was a freshman, I wrote for my Snapchat story. Listening to a specific song can teleport you to a different time in your life. Music gives me the ability to relive a precious moment, to reflect and be mindful, and to be aware that I'm here and I'm alive. And God, did that still ring true. I laid there and let go of everything keeping me here and slowly started to sink into something warm and sweet. The melancholic Cigarette Daydream started playing, and I saw myself in 7th grade. My old haircut and that yellow SGSU hoodie I wore every day. I was sitting on the floor under a desk in a dark classroom uncontrollably crying because our homeroom teacher taught us how to meditate, and that day was the first time I had ever felt fully present and awake. The nostalgic droning intro of Where'd All the Time Go grew louder and louder, and it was me again but in 8th grade this time with bright neon green hair. I had a huge crush on this one boy and it was raining, and I was running towards something but I couldn't see what. I started to remember how back then it felt like time was already moving way too fast. I was going to be a high schooler next year. Those songs painted a portrait of all the people I have been throughout the years. I still believe that music is directly tied to memory because those songs showed me something I had forgotten, who I really am. As they pounded in my ears and I saw all the past versions of me, smiling, dancing, running, crying, laughing, and changing, chills coursed through my entire body, reminding me that I'm still here. It was electric, like when fireworks go off on New Year's and you have this fullness moving up and out of you. When your body becomes so light, it almost feels like you could reach out and touch the whole world. This funny feeling that's like soaring in your dreams. This strange feeling called love. I laid there in the dark, feeling so much euphoria as tears poured out from somewhere buried deep inside me. I started to hiccup like I did when I cried as a little kid, because even though I had no love for who I was now, there was still so much of it for who I had been. That little boy who stormed out of his first day of pre-K and walked all the way home alone. That kindergartner who dressed up as Ghostface for his first Halloween and didn't understand why his classmates were crying. That naive middle schooler who was blindly pursuing a one-sided love because love made him feel alive. That son who came out to his parents in a skyscraper in the middle of New York because he had always known who he was. That student who came to class with a new hair color every month. Blonde, red, blue, purple, green. They were all who I was, but they felt so far away and completely different from who I am today. Those memories that flashed in my mind like a supercut felt like they didn't belong to me at all, but to someone else entirely. But they did happen. They happened to me, to this body that I grew up with, to this face that I'm learning to love, to these scarred legs that tell you I had fun, to this heart expanding with every new song I hear for the first time, these hands that once loved to paint and draw, these arms that hugged my classmates goodbye on the last day of 6th grade. They all belong to this body that embraced my childhood friend for the first time in a long time, in the middle of a field of yellow wildflowers. That day, Cigarette Daydreams was playing again as I sang along, and she said, "I can tell this song means a lot to you." My eyes started to well with tears, my mouth that was moving faster than my brain choked out, "You mean a lot to me too." It felt so cheesy at the moment, but before I could say anything else, she hugged me. The spring breeze, like a comb running through coarse hair, blew endlessly through the tall grass around us. She had this faraway look on her face when she whispered, "That feeling is coming back." And then we cried silently with our heads on each other's shoulders. We cried for the kids we used to be. We cried because when had we grown up so fast? We cried because despite everything, somehow, we were still here together, in bodies that have grown a little taller than before. I guess I am telling you all of this for me. I want to hold on to this feeling. I found myself again while frantically writing this in the middle of the night. I'm writing this to give my future self something to look back on, to remind him of what he was like when he was a junior in high school. I'm writing for the first time in a long time, because I hope that one day I will be able to love who I am right now. So let me begin again. My name is MT and I'll be 17 in July. My name is made up of the first letter of my mom's name and the first letter of my dad's. I like the color blue. The blue of a quiet afternoon as the sky grows darker. I like going biking with my dad on the weekends. I like going on evening walks with my mom, because that's when she starts to open up. I like how my older sister loves me in her own way. I like lost and found posters because they're a form of prayer, a testament of true love. I like orange street lights because they remind me of my childhood. I like my friends. I'm so glad that I crossed paths with them last year. I'm starting to like warmer weather. I like sticking my head out of the car. I like having long hair, but I'll probably cut it soon. I like the moon and how it has always followed me. I like taking photos and freezing moments in time because it all means so much to me. I like writing in my diary for that same reason. I like wired fences because to me they represent youth and the loss of it. When you were little and how you were surrounded by them, looking out through them onto the road during recess. But you're older now, and sometimes you pass by your elementary school at night after all the laughter is gone. And this time you're on the outside looking in, trying your hardest to remember